There's some up here. There's a couple over here. We'll try and squeeze you in.
There's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here.
Can you scoot in, Sheriff? Can you scoot in, please?
We are so excited to have everybody here today. We have such a great turnout. This is our grab and go class, and I think after the fires that they had in Harriman kind of grabbed a lot of people's attention. So we're glad you're here. We've got some great presenters with us today. We're going to have Kevin Tomini. He's in the second ward. He's my neighbor, and he has got some great information to share with us. He's very well prepared and has some really unique things to share and some ideas. And we also have Tammy Gersberger, who's going to share with us too. She's always a wealth of information, and we're grateful to have her presenting as well. We are going to begin with a prayer. Michelle Ogden is going to offer that for us, and then we're just going to dive right in and let Kevin get going. For those who did not get handouts, we are making more copies, so just be patient and we'll get those for you.
Yeah, it's funny. A woman actually asked me a while ago if this was my natural hair color. Yes. At 44, that's not what you want to hear. But the thought occurred to me that you don't see this on the nice and easy aisle. My name's Kevin Tomini. I'm second ward. I just actually live right here. If you turn north and follow the smell, you'll find my horses, and I'm attached to those. A couple things. I would hit questions while we go, but it sounds like for sake of ease of filming, and we won't hang on to your questions. And sometimes I use redneck terms, and I apologize if I use a term you don't understand. Just hang your hand up or something, and I'll try and back up and explain. Everything that you see before you is a product of this thought: stupid simple. Stupid simple to me, simply defined, is, can a monkey eating a ham sandwich do it? And frankly, honestly, absolutely, that is what you see before you. And it's practical. Everything that I've learned down the years is practical. I come from a military family. I'm not military myself. My father, his father before him, they were all military guys. And so he just picked things up. Stupid simple. I believe very wholeheartedly that you have to practice, you have to use your equipment, and you have to know it, understand it, and know what the limitations are, know your limitations. That gives you confidence. Experience creates confidence. This is a little bit of a side mark, but I sleep outside about once a week, usually in the winter, so it's as cold as I really like cold weather. I started doing that just because I wanted to know what the limitations of my sleeping bag were. It's rated to -30, and I can tell you the rating is crap. That won't even keep you alive in -30. It's good to about -5 if I'm wearing sweats and maybe with something in there. I also, just experimenting, you figure things out. But then I know what it's capable of. I know what I'm capable of. And I know down to 0, I'm warm as a bug. And, in fact, had a storm one night, woke up and my hair was frozen to my pillow. Somehow I survived. It didn't bother me. I woke up, went inside, it defrosted. We'll talk a little about this too. Years ago I was in law enforcement, and we have a saying in law enforcement: reload when you want to, not when you have to. We'll get to that. One of the things that's really critical that you take away from this, and I'll draw on my law enforcement experience, we practiced for hours and hours and hours doing just a draw stroke. So there was a 5-point movement that you would use to draw your weapon, and do it for hours and hours. We actually fired 1,200 rounds for qualification. But you would, for hours, just practice the same draw stroke. Although statistically, you would never draw your weapon. In a 20-year career, you would probably never, ever draw your weapon. In 20 years, the opportunity for you to draw your weapon and have to use it is like jumping on one foot while being struck by lightning. And it's really just minuscule. And yet, there are those rare occasions when something happens. The Harriman fire was interesting because we've actually had a house fire. We had a house fire the week before the Olympics. That's a shock to the system when It just happens. And 2:30 in the morning, my wife jumps off the bed. Holy cow, the house is on fire, and in 30 seconds you're out of the house. So I'm speaking from both experience in having dealt with this and also experience with, holy crap, the house is on fire, you got to get out. If you have your list, your grab-and-go list, we're not big campers, but we like to camp. And 72-hour kits and camping just seem to go together nicely. So what we determined a while back, as I was putting our stuff together to go camping, I think it was actually with my scouts, we figured out very quickly that, man, the sleeping bags are over here. Okay, I found those. Now, where's the tent? I don't know. It's on that shelf. And you go to every different corner of your garage to scrape all this stuff up. And half the time you can't find it. Or if you find it, oh, the mantle's bad in the lantern. Or there's a couple chairs up here. Do we need to put up some more chairs? Is there quite a crowd up? No.
Yes.
Why don't we pause for a minute? We'll just pull a few chairs up. As a police officer, we train this draw stroke again and again and again, although the opportunity to need that and actually shoot someone is just minuscule. And yet, the guy that came out of the police academy about a month before me was on the job a matter of weeks, got in a shooting. So the downside is stuff happens, you have to be ready for it. The upside is if you practice, you'll be confident and you'll just move through this. Moves through it very quickly. So we figured out from camping and wanting to be prepared and be 72-hour qualified people, we figured out that you have to be organized, you have to use the stuff, and simple. So simple. Just keep it stupid simple. The people who got handouts, there's a note on there about combat loading. That's a military term. Military people want to be able to get to things in a particular order. Bullets, bandages, beans. Bullets first because, right, dead soldiers don't do much good. So bandages because if you're in a shootout, you're going to want bandages. And then last thing you want to eat, right? So when everything goes in, I don't know how many of you camp a lot. Have you ever noticed how the last thing in is the first thing you need out? Right? Sorry, I didn't get that right. The first thing you put in the bottom of the box is the first thing you need out. So you dump the box. And, well, we figured that out pretty quickly. So all the little stuff that we don't use goes in the bottom first, and then the tent goes in the top. You'll notice the tent, I've got it on the top here. How many people actually got readable lists? That's about half y'all. All right. We started out with the spring bar tent. Spring bar tents are fantastic, sturdy, they do a great job. They have some pitfalls though. They're heavy as hell. They are so heavy. And when you get them wet, my goodness, you can't dry them, right? They're duck canvas. The bad thing that we really found about them is you have to have them stone bone dry before you put them away or they'll mold and mildew. Also, you have to stake it down. You can't put it up unless you stake it down. That's the whole spring bar system. So a spring bar tent the size that we used was 80 pounds. Well, as we got to thinking about that, working with it, and we realized we need something self-supporting, something nylon so we don't care if it gets wet. It's not going to hurt it. Self-supporting so you don't have to stake it down, right? Are we all on the same page? This is called a geodesic. It's like a giant up tent or giant dome tent with aluminum bars. And 20 pounds. This is fantastic tent. And it fits in my Go Box. By the way, the Go Box is the big blue thing on the floor here. You can't see it. Aptly named Go because we throw it in the truck and go. By the way, this is special order, Shopco on sale. I think it was like $8. And I just looked at it and went, yeah, the tent fits. It'll work. Of course, under the tent, tarps under here. And stove lantern. I realized that we wanted to have all of the propane stuff together. So I found this nifty bag again. It's padded. It was on sale at Sportsman's Warehouse. So lantern, and this is our cook stove. That's it. Stupid simple. These two fit in there with 2 cans of propane, and it's in one package. So if we're going to cook anything, if we need light, it's all in the same box. You pull the bag